So it did not escape my attention that this entire film was set in 1987, which is the year that I was born. So that's two good things that happened that year. Obviously, there's a lot more good stuff that happened in 1987. I'm just saying that's two of them now, but, you know. So with each Transformers film that comes out, my hopes of them being great get crushed even more so with each and every one. But will this film be the one that finally breaks the cycle of violence, of hopes and dreams being crushed? Let's get into it! So BumbleBee is a new Transformers film, but it's actually a prequel to all of the other Transformers films that have come so far. This is actually set in 1987 and focuses entirely on the character of Bumblebee, who, let's face it, is everyone's real favourite Transformer. It's not just Optimus Prime. And being the first Autobot to reach Earth after leaving Cybertron, he has to protect and defend Earth from the onset of the Decepticons. Now I know that the Transformers franchise has had somewhat of a troubled past, and it's been hard for me to enjoy the Transformers films lately. They've gone kind of from bad to progressively worse along the storytelling spectrum. And I didn't hold out a whole lot of hope for Bumblebee. And I've got to say, surprisingly, from the moment that this film started, I enjoyed this film more than any other Transformers film. This film opens on a shot of Cybertron, and it is immediately in an action scene with the Autobots fighting the Decepticons. And this is classic Autobots and Decepticons. It's like they've lifted them straight out of the classic cartoon and made them into 3D CG rendering. It is that close to them. And the entire first 10 minutes is all action scene. It takes place on Cybertron and Earth, and that's just in the first 10 minutes of the film. And finally, you can actually tell who is fighting who in the fight scenes, because they actually look like Transformers and not just a mangled mess of mechanics. And not only that, but the plot for this film was almost entirely different from any other Transformers film we've seen as well, because this plot was actually very simple and very streamlined, and it didn't have any innuendo or objectification to have to pull in different target audiences. No, this film just kept the plot nice and streamlined. It had elements of Iron Giant in there, it had elements of How to Train Your Dragon in there, and it had elements of Transformers in there as well. So all three of those mixed together are going to be a film that is an interesting watch. It doesn't necessarily have to appeal to a nostalgia audience, but the good thing is, it does. The plot was clean, and it was focused, and it was streamlined. It knew exactly what it was doing, and that is an element that I believe a lot of the other Transformers films were crucially missing. And the weird thing is, some people are referring to Bumblebee as a pre-boot, as this is technically a prequel to the other Transformers that we have, but there's certain inconsistencies with the current timeline that mean this film has kind of cherry-picked different bits of what it wants to keep as the current canon. So this could essentially be the start of a whole new Transformers franchise, and we could actually be seeing far more classic-look Transformers coming into play. And even if this is at the start of a whole new series, or it just has more to follow to fill in the gaps between this and the current Transformers franchise, which I would still be okay with, if the Transformers look like their classic look like they have in this film, and the plots are as equally streamlined and focused as they are with Bumblebee, then yeah, I would be happy to see more of that. And ultimately, the film just ended up having a whole sense of nostalgia and heart about it that it didn't need to have, but it's made it better that it does have it. So, with that in mind, Bumblebee gets 3.5 stars from me. This is essentially the Transformers film that we have all been waiting for. In actuality, this is the one that I have wanted to see for the longest time, I think. I was excited about other Transformers films coming out, and they almost entirely failed to impress. This is the first Transformers film I've seen in a long time that actually managed to grab me and hold me for the entirety of its film. So, well done, Bumblebee, for that. So, Bumblebee, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Do you want to see more from what could essentially be this new timeline of Transformers films? And if so, which characters do you want to see introduced? All comments are welcome in the comments section below. Let's talk nerdy. As always, if you've enjoyed what you've seen here and you would like to see more, you can click right here to subscribe and see some more funky, fresh videos from yours truly. And until that point, was John Cena in this film? Or could you not see him?